All right. Perfecto. So today we're going to do a little bit of shoulder work, okay? But first, we always start with CARs. So the controlled articular rotations that we're doing today, we're going to go through each joint structure, and we do it a little bit longer during the mobility basics. If you ever took a Kinstretch class, we focus more on the strength work in that end range, and we do a warm-up. So these daily CARs can take you 6 minutes while you're waiting for coffee or tea, whichever your beverage is. Or you can do it as a training session for like 45 minutes, okay? So we follow the 3 C's, compassion, care, and control. Let's bring our feet a little bit wider than hip width. Compassion is my circle is not gonna look like yours, not gonna look like Marion, it's your own, right? So, and then care is we don't move into anything painful or pinchy. We just work around it. If I have pain here, I just carve right around it. And then control, let's start to irradiate. So irradiation, if you think of it like grab those 2 tennis balls and grab them and bring your arms out to the side and squeeze them and feel that contraction go all the way up your arm, right? And then start to actively punch down towards the floor. You move the shoulders away from the neck. You might even feel a nice little stretch there, right? And now let's do our lower body. Feet are firm into the floor. Lift the kneecaps. Contract the quads. Contract the glutes. So what we're doing here is contracting so that we can focus in on the neck first. And then the last one, which is my favorite, is our rib cage. A lot of us stand like this. So what we're gonna do is exhale and lower the front ribs down and in. Perfect. So that's also going to tuck your pelvis under. Did you feel that when you lowered the ribs down, right? So now we're all set up. Try to keep that contraction as best you can. Tuck the chin back. Slide it down your neck to your chest. Chin scrapes along the right collarbone. Look over your right shoulder. And then tilt to the right, dipping your ear behind your right shoulder. There you go. You're going to feel a stretch on the opposite side. And now rainbow your chin up and over to the other side. Into a tilt. Yep, so extend back. You got it. To the right and then extend up and over. Yeah, big, nice big circle. There you go. And now go to the right again. Tilt, rainbow up and over. Into a tilt to feel that stretch on the right side. And come down. One more. And let's all reset. So bring your head back up to center, tuck the chin back, slide it down. This is so that we can get our cervical spine involved. And now scrape along the left collarbone. Look over the left shoulder. Dip the ear behind the left shoulder and extend up and over to the other side. A nice full safe circle, right? I'm giving you cues of the stops along the way, but we really just want a nice big circle. And relax. Next up is our thoracic spine, which is where your ribs start to taper in. So I'm going to move around a little bit using my thoracic spine. See, the lower part of my body is not moving, right? It's not like this. We're just moving this part of our spine, which is actually in charge of twisting. Our lower back doesn't twist very much. It's our thoracic spine. So the same cueing happens in the neck as the thoracic spine. So you can cross your arms in front or give yourself a nice big hug. It doesn't really matter so much. Hold on to the tennis balls or just squeeze your fists. And we're going to crunch ourselves down like we're doing an ab crunch, okay? So we're crunching down. You might even feel a stretch in your upper back. Nothing's moving down here. We have our kneecaps lifted, quads, glutes contracted, and then twist like a cat. Nice. Try to keep control of the hips so that they're not moving forward. So we're twisting like a cat and then dip the shoulder down. we're tilting like a teapot. And now extend back and over into a tilt, twist it down and forward. Again, twist like a cap. Nice. And tilt. You're gonna feel it stretch along that left side body. Up and over. Dip the left shoulder down. And now bring yourself into a twist and then come forward again. One more time to the right. There's a couple of things that can happen while you're doing this. You can get cramping, especially in the thoracic spine. I don't know what it is about that. Well, actually I do, but we can relax. Let's reset. We're gonna do the left side. Crossing the arms, contracting, we're irradiating. Crunch down like you're doing an ab crunch on the floor. Twist like a cap to the left. There you go. It's hard to control your pelvis, isn't it? Yeah. Now tilt. So get that nice stretch along the right side. Perfect. And then extend up and over into a tilt. And this is a strange part. A tilt. And then you're looking down towards the floor in the twist. Yeah, perfect. And then forward. Let's do it again. Up and over. And I think we have one more. If you get an extra one in, that's just a bonus. And relax. So it's cool as you do this more and more, sometimes you can go a little bit, you might be going faster, you might be going slower than me, and that's all fine. I only ask that you always check in every once in a while and really slow it down so that you can really feel it, right? So our thoracic spine here is also connected to the QL, which is connected to, and I'm saying all these words like I'm not a physical therapist, right? But it connects to the SI, right? So if my thoracic spine or our thoracic spine can't twist, we're gonna recruit our lower back. And if we recruit our lower back and the load exceeds the capacity, that's when you can have something go wrong with your back. So injury can happen when load exceeds the capacity of that joint. And if you're recruiting all of these things, you're not allowing the thoracic spine to be a thoracic spine. So let's take care of our shoulder blades. This is our nice little massage section. Arms straight out in front. The tennis balls just help you connect to those tissues and to contract. And this is internal training. So if we're leaning up against the wall or using external objects, we are just helping ourselves connect to the tissues. So squeeze the tennis balls or squeeze the fists. Nothing else is going to move. So start to irradiate from your feet up. Feet are firm, kneecaps, quads, glutes, and bring the front ribs down and in. Arms straight in front and squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine. All right, so squeezing the shoulder blades towards the spine. Keep them squeezed and lift them up towards the back of your head. And then separate them as you bring them forward. This isn't a time to relax. You really want the leader to be the shoulder blades, bring them down your back. And back and squeeze, up and squeeze, forward and down. Nice. It's a circle. You might feel like a train, right? And let's do one more here. And don't overthink it, just reverse. There you go. Do you feel that nice little massage on the muscles? Yeah. Oh yeah, crunchies. Yep. We all have them. We all had them, have them, all of the good stuff. 3, 2, and 1. All right, awesome. So if everybody makes fists with their hands, you have tennis balls, you're still doing somewhat of a fist, right? And bring your thumbs out. I just want to show you before we get into shoulder, elbow, wrist, and some of you have heard this many times, but it's always good to hear again, right? So lock in your shoulder, lock in your elbow, and try to give me a thumbs up with just moving your wrist. Yep, but just move your wrist. This is all going to make sense, right? So you can't really go too far. What's going to move? Your elbow, So your elbow pit is here, right? And if your elbow pit doesn't move and you give me a thumbs up, which you did first, which is fine, right? So this is your elbow. Yeah. So now keep the thumbs up, and now you're gonna spin the bicep out and away. Elbow pits come up, that's your shoulder. Okay, so this is always so cool for me. So let's internally rotate the bicep. So in, and then use your elbow and give me a thumbs down. Right, so all of this is so connected. You can see how some people might overuse their elbow, underuse their shoulder, overuse their shoulder, underuse their elbow, right? Okay, so now we're gonna get into the shoulder. We're gonna do one arm at a time. So let's start with the right arm. We're gonna irradiate through our body, both arms out, actively punch down. Pack the air down is usually the cue I use for bringing your ribs down and in. So do that on an exhale. You might feel your core fire up a little bit. We're pressurizing the core. It's not so much about strength. It's about the ability of your pelvic floor and your diaphragm to pressurize and to be able to work at their best. We're starting with the right arm. So spin the bicep up towards the ceiling and back. Tennis ball or fist is going to be facing up. And we're going to slowly cross over the midline of our body, almost like you're holding a plate or like a coffee or bowl of soup, whatever you covet and you want to remain in the vessel. Bring it up into flexion. There you go, nice. Up into flexion. And now spin the bicep away from your face. Tennis ball is going to go to the right and maybe down towards the floor, and you're reaching back. Pause here, internally rotate more. Did you have more? Yeah, and bring it down, right? Our thumbs are probably facing our thigh or the back of the room. Now kick it straight back. You might feel your tricep fire up. Spin the bicep up towards the ceiling. Keep spinning it. Hold that plate again. Bring the bicep up towards your ear and cross over the midline again and land. Okay, this time try to reach for a little bit more. Go slow and controlled, cross over the midline. Up into flexion. Find that little roadblock, right? You find that like, Now we're gonna spin around it. So spin the bicep away from the face. This is internal rotation. Keep spinning, internal, 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 as you reach back behind you and land. Kick it back, spin the bicep. And around. Nice, let's do the left side. So the right arm comes out. Did you feel any tingling down? So when you reach, when you reach back, you might feel a nice stretch in your bicep, right? So you're not, it's just an indication that you're not using your fullest range of motion. But this is where it can start. So it's exciting, right? Arm out to the side, left arm in external rotation. And for those of you that have done this a bunch of times, you can still go slow and mindful and do more than 2 on each side. Cross over the midline of your body, right? And we're trying to keep if you're locking in, you shouldn't have much twisting happening. Reaching up into flexion, internally rotate, reach back. Keep internally rotating. You're wringing out that shoulder. Kick it back. Externally rotate, biceps goes up to the ceiling, then towards the ear and around. Cross over the midline. Flexion, internal back. Kick it back and externally rotate, bring it around. We're gonna do a variation of this, right? Because for some of us, when we come up into flexion and we internally rotate, you might lead with your elbow and then rotate your bicep. We wanna rotate with our bicep and then you can let the elbow follow. But this is gonna kick out the elbow. The elbow can be very nosy when we're trying to do shoulder work. So with your fist or a tennis ball in your hand, you can have your thumb come up towards your shoulder. We're gonna do the same motion. Actually, it doesn't matter. We've got 2, we're gonna do both, right? So I try not to say right and left when I'm cueing. Sometimes I do, most times I try not to. All right, so the elbow is gonna come up towards the ceiling. It's gonna feel awkward. It's okay if your thumb moves, you just wanna find flexion. But you're gonna feel how different it feels without your elbow involved. Now draw a circle, reaching that elbow up and back, reaching back, and let the elbow land. And then we're going to go straight back and bring it around. This feels very different, right? Let's do one more. It's okay if your thumb moves. It doesn't mean that you have to keep your thumb in that same spot. You just want to wring out the shoulder without that nosy elbow. Ooh, let's do the other side. So thumb to the shoulder. And the thumb to the shoulder is just really to lock in a certain spot for your elbow. Because if you don't have that anchor, you might try to move from the elbow up into flexion, reach it back, try to internally rotate it. It feels a little bit odd, but do your best. Kick it back, bring it around. And last one, flexion, internal back, kick it back, and bring it around to the front. Awesome. And now we're going to do our elbows. Pin the biceps. Elbow pits are facing up. Hands, you can do flat palms. We can just keep the tennis balls in our hands either way. It's fine. The cueing's the same. We're going to slowly bring the tennis balls or the palms up to our shoulders. And now we're going to flip our hands around from the elbow, perfect, right? From the axis of the middle finger, because we don't want to do this or this. We want to keep it nice and tight. And then push the air down. Flip again. And bring it up. Keep those biceps pinned. Flip and down. Flip and up. And pause. We have 2 bones in the elbow. So we want to change the orientation. I call it stirring the pot in both directions. Let's bring the top of the hands down now. And flip. And really try to see if you can lead with the elbow here. And this is where you can make the resistance more or less, right? You can pretend like you're moving through honey. Do you feel that? Like how you can create your own resistance, right? 3, 2, and 1. Relax for a second and pin the biceps again. Tennis balls, palms, or fists up. And we're gonna do our wrists. Talk about, I was saying the elbow's nosy. The forearm is super nosy here, okay? So do your best. We're gonna reach down in extension. Pinkies are gonna come in, but go nice and slow. Notice if and when your forearm is starting to get starting to twist. Come up, we're just doing a circle. And thumbs come out. Yeah, pinkies in, up and around, nice, and then thumbs out. One more, and then we're gonna switch directions. Switch directions, other way. And if you find that you cannot control that forearm right away, you can always do one arm at a time and hold on to the forearm and relax. We're gonna do our spine now. So we're gonna grab a chair. You can take the tennis balls, move the tennis balls down. So you will notice that, some of you know this already, that I will show you there's so many options that it's impossible to do in one class. So always let me know, be like, hey, is there another way to do this? Or, you know, just ways that you're gonna try to focus on the spine. So today we're going to do shoulders, but I do want to take a little bit more time. We're going to do 3 rounds of spine segmentation. So in general, when we're talking about recruitment, is there a reminder or something heard for the first time for all of you? So just please ask questions if you have them. In general, we can recruit our lower back, right? But do we have control over the 3 sections of, well, the cervical spine, thoracic, and lumbar spine? What can happen is if our brain doesn't know that we can articulate or move through all of these sections, you can create hinge points, right? So if I'm reaching up to get something, I might have a hinge point here, which I used to. I still do a little bit, right? So all of that load goes here. instead of us being able to move each section. So I'm talking about 3 sections, but then there's all the vertebrae in between. Okay, so we're going to create a wave. If you've ever done yoga, cat cow. We're going to do cat cow, but we're going to start at the pelvis and tuck it under. So this is flexion. This is extension. We're going to slowly wave the spine in flexion and extension. And do you mind if I touch your back to help you?
No, it's fine.
Okay. No, you're good there. You're good there. Yep. So let's take a nice wide stance. We want to have room for our pelvis to rock. Come into extension. So arch your back. You might feel a contraction, right, along your whole back. That contraction is allowing you to get into extension. And I'll demo this in a higher speed for you so you can see. We're going to start at our pelvis, tuck the pelvis under, bring our lower back up, mid back, and upper back. So it's a wave, right? And then we do the opposite. We tuck it out, lower back, mid back, upper back. So let's all start in an arched back extension. Start to tuck just the pelvis under. Try to keep your back in extension for as long as possible. Tuck the pelvis under, tucking this way. Lower back starts to inflate. See if you can find your mid back. Yeah. Yeah, so right here. Yeah, I felt a little push. And then find your upper back. Beautiful. Stay in flexion. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Go further into flexion. No, you're good. There you go. Yeah. Now start to tuck. Show your bum to the front door. Start to tuck your pelvis back. There you go. Now lower here, mid back, upper back. That helps, right? Let's do it again. Tuck under. Keep this arched. Yeah, tuck under for as long as you can. Find this. Find it. You got it. Mid, upper. Now we're in flexion. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Start to tuck the pelvis out, meaning show your bum to the back of the room. Try to keep the rest of your back in flexion. Lower back starts to go down. Mid back starts to lower into extension. Upper back, gentle gaze up. Tuck under. Going into another wave. Lower back inflates. Mid back. And upper back. One more wave back. Tuck out. Show your bum. Lower back goes down. Mid back. And upper back. Gently bring yourself up. So that can be done up against a wall. That can also be done down on all fours, which you can imagine locks you in, right? So it's all about increasing the inputs. How many varied ways can you find the extension? So now we're going to move down to the hips. So that was all upper body. So upper body takes the most time, right? So for our hips, it's similar to the shoulder. We're going to find flexion. We're going to find abduction. Then we're going to find internal rotation and bring our leg back. Okay. So I'm going to demo standing so you can keep the chair right there. I'm going to mimic it. Right? Yeah. So set yourself up. Sorry, guys, let me just fix this. There we go. Sorry, Marion. All right, so we're gonna stand nice and tall. We're gonna start with our left leg. Right leg smushes into the ground. Lift the kneecap, quad, glute. Pack the air down, inhale. And exhale. Bring those front ribs down and in. I'm gonna use a pole today, okay? And now start to contract through the left leg. That means dorsiflexing your foot too. So this is a plantar flexion or a point. This is dorsiflexion. So feel the energy from this leg and start to lift the knee as high as you can. And now we're gonna bring it out to the side. So bring it out to the side. This is what we don't want. We don't want to rock and roll, right? Like this. We really want to get just into the hip. So out to the side. Now spin the thigh down and in. You're internally rotating. You might feel it right here. Internally rotate. Huh? Yeah, reach back and land. Now we're going to kick the heel straight back. Don't arch your back. This is true extension right here. Now peel the knee away from the other leg. Knees coming out to the left and bring it around. One more, knee up. Right? Keep your pelvis still. Out to the side, like you're a statue. Internally rotate. It's not a big move. And back and land. Kick it back, peel the knee away, high and wide, and bring it around. So now let's do the right leg. So you can stay right there, just switch the legs. I'm just changing my view here. Stand firm through your left, okay? Start to contract through your right leg. Remember to irradiate through your upper body. So any way that you can do that, you can bring your arm out to the side and make fists with your hand. Also, the wall works fine, so you can make any adjustments that you might need. Knee comes up towards the chest. Sweep it out to the side. That pulls there for you too. Give it a go. Side. There you go. Straighten those hips out. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's where you're at. That's fine. Internally rotate, reach it back. Knee back. Peel the knee away. High and wide. There you go. Knee up. Out to the side. Internally rotate. Reach it back, but reach it back without your lower back. Straighten your torso up. It's hard to do because you want to go further, right? Foot pushes back. Nice. Knee out to the side and around. Beautiful. Now, if you do have a chair, I'm going to show you your tibia from a seated position. Oh, good. We're good on time. So something about the hip too to remember is your hip socket is on your pelvis. We think of it as like here or like this separate thing. Your hip sockets sit on your pelvis. So for me, mine are a little bit pointed out, so I have more abduction, right? But I don't have a lot of internal rotation. So our bones can play a part in this too. So our tibia is similar to our elbow. So bring both heels, lift the toes onto the floor, hold on to your knees. We're gonna do this multiple times. So we're just going to tick-tock back and forth. Remember that thing with the knee pit, right? This is my elbow. Once my knee pit, elbow pit starts to move, that's my shoulder. Elbow, shoulder. Same goes here. We're not moving our femur. We're not moving our knee. Our knee flexes and extends, but it also rotates from below. That's our tibia right there. So that's external rotation, which most people have a good amount of. You might see your calf pop out. And now go to internally rotate. It's okay if your ankles want to join the party, but if you feel the bone right below your knees, you might feel them move. That's your tibia, right? So we're going to move that back and forth a couple times. I want you to find it and feel it. And now we're going to take our right hand, put it behind our knee. Why do we do this? It's just to lift the leg up. You can easily do this and stay on the floor, but we can give it a little freedom. Find external rotation of your tibia without moving your femur. Extend forward 3/4 of the way. Internally rotate, bring it back. So you see how this could be like the elbow, right? What we were doing with the elbow. And pause on the next in and back. And we're going to stir the pot in the other direction. 2 bones here. And 3, 2, and 1. Bring that same leg out and rotate the ankle. Nice. Try to relax your toes. They can be kind of nosy here, but that's okay. Opposite direction if you haven't done that already. All right, and let's do our tibia on the left leg. So again, you can do it on the floor and slide, or you can lift the leg. So externally rotate, extend 3/4 of the way, internal back. External forward, internal back. Right? And if you're moving your femur or your knees side to side, your femur might also internally rotate to try to help it. Yes, I did see that, and it's okay. Help you connect your tissue, right? Pause on the in and back. Kick it forward, external back. So all the movement patterns, right, that are just so inherent. Imagine how walking might feel if your brain is using this, right? So let's bring our leg out, roll the ankle. Woo! We've got some joint fireworks going on in the studio here. No, that's okay. Don't apologize. Oh, please. Right, Marion? If we put like microphones up to each of our joints, it would sound like, Marion's going like this, it would sound like it'd be like, my neck used to crunch so much. But after like maybe a month of doing cars every day, it's gone. And that's a lot of air pockets too. So let's stand up to take care of our toes. This is always my favorite. All right, so the pads of our feet are not going to leave the ground, right? The most important thing, one of the most important things we can do for our feet is to allow our arches to work like abs. Imagine this is your sternum. These are your abs. So shoes that have arches, orthotics, they can all take away the ability, or it's like if you have two employees, one of them's doing all the work, which is the orthotic, and the other one's just allowed to just sit there and, you know, and get paid, whatever. So what we want to do is disassociate our big toe from our little toes. So we're going to do that now. So you can irradiate a little bit through your legs, like lift kneecaps. It's not totally necessary because you're going to be staring at your toes for a weird amount of time. Lift all 10 toes up in the air. Now just tap the big toe down. Go. And I learned a little trick too. If one of them's not moving, you could take your thumbs on your hand. You know, like the politician type of, you can do that to try to help connect. Tap the big toe down 3 to 5 times. And now lift all 10 toes up and tap the 8 toes down, leaving the big toe up. This is where patience and grace comes in, right? When do you ever do this, really, right? So tap like 3 or 5 times. Now lift all the toes, spread them nice and wide, and reach them forward and grab the mat like you're trying to pull the mat into your arches, right? You might go to Crampville, that's okay. And relax. One more time, lift all 10 toes, spread them, reach them forward, and grip the ground. You're okay, I do marionette hands, I'm used to people while I pull into your arches. And now relax the toes into the ground. Push them in gently and just lift the big toe up. Here you go. And now lower the big toe and lift the 8 toes up. Lower down, go back and forth a few times. And then we'll do our good old piano keys. Lift all 10 toes up, spread them nice and wide. And now try to put your pinky toe down first. This can help. You can put your hands out and do the marionette toes. It does help a little. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. 2 more times. Lift, spread. Pinky second, third, fourth, fifth. 1 more time. And down. We already tried. Marion was in the class. Yeah, Marion was in the class when I said, okay, let's do the reverse. And like, none of, we were like, what? Like, I'm still trying to figure out what the reverse is. All right, so let's do some shoulders. We're gonna do shoulders back. Hi. Oh, we're in the middle of a class. Did you want to take a class? It is. So email me and we can talk. I'm done with class at like 11. Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's okay. There should just grab the moving well with Sue. That's going to take you to right there, the one you had. Yep. Take that one. And that's me, that I own the studio. And look it up on the website too. All right, bye. Sorry, guys. All right. I mean, I like people coming up. I think it's because the front door is open. So we're gonna do our shoulder this for here, right? Shoulders coming into abduction. And then we're also gonna do a little bit across the body, okay? So why don't you join me up here on this wall, because we're gonna use the wall for this. Okay. We're gonna approach the wall. Let's see, Marion, do you have a wall? Yeah, she knows it. She knows it. All right, so we're looking at the wall. Don't get too dizzy. I don't know what it is about this wall. It makes me dizzy because it's like, it looks like it's 3D. Bring our right arm out to the side. Left arm can relax. And we're gonna turn ourselves away. We're gonna twist ourselves away from that arm. Do you feel that stretch? Do you feel that stretch here? If you like this stretch, you're gonna love this even more. So this is a little taste of the strength work that we do in the end range, okay? So we're gonna stay here. We're not gonna stay here for a whole 2 minutes. We're gonna stay here for about a minute, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what we're gonna do. So what this does is it takes us into our end range. This is a passive end range of motion. Stay right where you are. Passive is with passive support, right? The wall is helping me get more range of motion here, but this is my active, right? So it's not as big of an angle, right? So this is what I can pull myself into. And what this work does is closes the gap between my passive and my active, which allows us more strength in all of our ranges. And it takes care of the strength really close to the joint capsule. That way that strength and that range of motion can irradiate out. You might even feel after this that your biceps aren't as tight. Yeah. Right? So we're here. The first thing we're gonna do, you're gonna hear me count down from 3. And what we're gonna do is irradiate through our body, just like you're trying to like lift up something heavy, right? Just create some resistance. And we're gonna slowly start to push our arm into the wall without moving the rest of our body. You're gonna feel that line of tension fire up. Remember, compassion, care, control. Don't move into anything painful. You can always pull it back. The sensation and the effort is all up to you. And we're gonna keep going up to find your safest, greatest effort and hold it. And then, right, Marion? Regressive tissue in the back. We're gonna lift off the wall. All right. And you're gonna see me do this. Lift. Your arm may not move. It's the contraction that matters. In 3, 2, 1. Turn up the volume to a 1. Right? We're pushing into the wall. Fire up that tissue that's on stretch. This is the progressive tissue. This is the PALS isometric contraction. Push a little bit more. Turn that dial up a little bit more. Keep turning it up. Find your safest effort or your safest greatest. Your safest greatest might be an 8 to a 10, or it might be a 6. Like, it's really up to you. You want to feel like you're working. You want to feel that tissue fire up. And in 3, 2, 1, you're a statue. Try to lift that arm off the wall. Just try, yeah. Lift. That's not the goal the contraction is. So really 5, 4, 3, arm into the wall. If you imagine slow increase of effort, hold it here. 3, 2, 1, lift off the wall. If you're in your end range, your arm's not going to go anywhere, right? You can see my hands trying to be fancy, telling you that I'm lifting off the wall, but I'm not. 3, 2, 1, slowly release into the wall. Start to remove yourself from the wall. And relax out. Feels good, right? Let's take that same arm and take it across our body. Okay. So when we take it across our body, we don't want to be like twisting this way. We just want to bring it across our body. And you might feel a stretch on the back side of that shoulder. We're going to do the same thing with pails and rails here. So the action that we're going to take, that we're going to stop with our arm, is this. So we're trying to open our arm up, but we're not. We're squeezing a grape right here. Okay. And that's the first one. Oh, we're squeezing the grape when we're regressing. So we're going to pull our arm further in. So 3, 2, 1, resist with this arm, with the left arm, and try to pull out, but don't let it happen. It's that like tug of war, right? Hold it here. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1, squeeze the grape in your armpit. Pull across. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I always get shaking here. 3, 2, 1, and relax down. We're gonna do our left arm. So up against the wall, arm straight out to the side. And Mary, something that I want to mention too is that this isn't our only extension. Just like this isn't just your bicep. This is so many variables. So you can do this anywhere. Yeah. So as long as you find a line of tension, so find that line of tension in the shoulder. We're going to stay here for a little bit. The second side always goes a little bit quicker, right? Because there's less explaining here. But on this side, when we start to push into the wall, when we start to do our pails contraction, right? Let's try to focus on what we're pushing into the wall. Are we pushing just our hand into the wall? Or are we really letting that contraction start at our shoulder? So play around with that on this round here. So 3, 2, 1. Push into the wall with your shoulder first, and then your elbow, and then your hand. Do you feel that difference? Yeah. So when I say push into the wall, you know, push your hand into the wall. It feels so much different than if you start to wave that shoulder in first. Keep pushing. Turn up the volume a little bit more. Like you're trying to push the wall away from you. And hold. Three, 2, 1, you're a statue lift. Yeah, there you go. So cool to be able to watch, and like I could tell, I was like, oh, she's in it. You've got the contraction in the back of that shoulder. Squeeze, squeeze, 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring it back to the wall. Find that stretch again. You might even notice you have more range after one round. 3, 2, 1 for our shorter round. Start to push in, push, slow increase. Hold it. 3, 2, 1, lift off the wall. 3, 2, 1, slowly melt into the wall and release the arm down. Everything's nice and slow, right? Shake it out for a second. And we'll bring that same arm over to the other side. All right, so we'll do one round here. Find a little bit of that stretch in the back shoulder. 3, 2, 1, and push. Some people might find that their arm, they're not able to get that full resistance. You can also be here. Because sometimes I find I'm like, I like let my arm drift. All right, hold it. 3, 2, 1, pull the arm closer to you. Squeeze that grape. 3, 2, 1, and relax down. So whenever we work an area, right? Just wait, if you like this and you come back, you're gonna experience the tension melter with the pole. Oh my gosh. Feel like you're on something good. All right. So what I like to do is we save the work, which Marianne, I figured out what that means. That's like if you're typing something in a Microsoft Word document and you hit save so that you know that you still have it. Yeah, it is something that my mentor kept saying to me, and I was like, I don't know, like I keep asking him to explain it to me and I still don't get it. It's like asking someone what their name is multiple times, and they're telling you, and then it finally hit me. So we're gonna save our work. We're gonna do double shoulder cars because I want you to feel what that work would do for your range of motion, right? So what is this, where are we gonna feel this? We might feel it when we cross over the midline, and then we might also feel it right about here, okay? So both arms out, and this is a lighter one. You don't have to irradiate so much, but try to keep some level of control for the rest of your body, right? I'm gonna use my thumbs as a guide here. Thumbs are gonna come back because our biceps spinning up towards the ceiling. Cross both arms over the midline. Up into flexion. Internally rotate, reach back. Do you feel any more smoothness, right? And around, land, and kick it straight back. Externally rotate, bring it around the front, and relax down. How's that feel? I love the wall. The wall shoulder work is really awesome. And then we also do like extension. So the mobility basics will be little tastes at the end. But now you know, like the Kinstretch class is mostly that type of work in our hips, in our thoracic spine, in our shoulders. And we do a 15 minute CARS routine in the beginning. So it's more of a warm up. So this is more like training. And then the Kinstretch one is more of a warm up. Hey, Marion, I'll see you in 10 minutes for yin.